Hello everybody, my name is Baseball, and welcome to my first ever Tier 6 star. Bit of an anticlimactic yet symbolic choice, for reasons people could probably guess. Anyways, introducing Crudely. Name, Crudelo Reds, agyW. Also known as Force 15 Reds from SF74EEEE. Or better known as Super Mario 74 Extreme and Purpled Elio Kapushi Hippopotamus Edition. The reason I say this is anticlimactic yet symbolic is because this is essentially Crudelo Reds, but it's been taken up quite a notch. Sum it up, the Reds have been moved. Some to where normal stars were in the original 74E, and some in much more difficult or precise spots. And I'll try my best throughout this video to explain them all the best I can. So the first red you saw there, yeah, you got a QSLG around. That QSLG and jump back down to the area where you start the, the triple jump. I normally rely on the amp for this landing, to avoid the flame hitbox. There is technically a little sliver of that platform where you can avoid both, but it became a little more fucked, and I started relying more on the amp for that. Now this second red, it's no longer on the platform itself, but instead, gotta do a nice little backflip wall kick like that. It's graining on that could be a bit weird with that kind of camera. That's kind of why I'm doing it second now instead of last. Like you originally would in the 74EE Crudelo Reds. So you see here it says MVP last. I'm basically doing the MVP climb last. It became more of my strong suit, despite the really fucked triple jump wall kick red coin, which we will get to much later on. You see my PB's like 14 out of 20, that's basically my 14th red. I did choke after once, but like, that's what it is, got back up right away. So now we're going to go over and do the wall kicks for the end of the Star 2 path, because there's a red coin there, because why wouldn't there be? And getting back, it's like similar concept, just wall kicking around same way. And now climb up to here as normal. But once I get to the next platform with the fire jet, you're gonna see here I'm gonna do a little well, I mean, not here, but like here. You see that red over there in that little hole in the wall? I give myself a bit of a slight angle, then did 2 wall kicks, and then pause buffer to make sure I'm like hitting that black wall that you kind of drop down to after grabbing said coin. And then from there you just do Neil's side flips back. And you can either go back to that platform there that you see on the left, or you just do what I do here and just go straight back over the other side, like you would do for one of the reds in the original Crudelo Reds anyway. So I figured, hey, it's a good chance to practice that. And now we're gonna be approaching one of the 2 biggest fucked up reds in this entire star. On the same platform with that fire jet, there's a red that's like that you like kind of fall down from. See here, I set myself a bit of an angle. I want to be hitting the right side of that slope and then doing a jump dive to land on the edge of the slope, do a bit of a rail grind, just so I can reset the diving animation into a walking animation so I can get my bearings right on that slope and, make it up as as you see there. Normally, well, like, okay, originally, I saw some completions where it was like you just kick over the slope, nab the red, and just land on the slope with that animation already. But that became a bit of a challenge for me, so that's something I kind of figured out. There's another strat that, Just Reeve, discovered as well, where you could kind of land on the slope and then, like, do some, like, slide jumps alongside an angle that's, like, kind of toward the, like, you know, you're kind of slide jumping off the thin edge. And then you're trying to, like, jump to the red and then kick back up to land back on the slope. And in hindsight, that actually is a interesting strat, because if you do manage to pull it off, but it's like way more precise, if you do manage to pull it off though, you can actually land back on the slope, and then afterwards you can just immediately like slide off of it and bounce off the quicksand to nab the red immediately after, so you don't have to do the wall kicks that you saw me do, tracing back to that red immediately after. It saves a bit of time, but it is way more precise. As you see after that, I'm gonna start doing the reclimbs, which people can get at me all they want for me doing reclimbs first, and like I usually have for original Crudelo Reds. It's just worked for me. And it clearly worked here much better. I think even Pluto did this route, more or less. Like, something similar to this route. Because she did do, the MVP coin, much later, or like, you know, as like the last path. Shouts to her, by the way. She's the first person to ever beat this hack. And here, those two reds for that reclimb definitely have been moved a bit. Just like in either like right off the middle, to where you're like straining for like that first one is kind of a bit chopped. I pause buffered it at first to begin with, because like I wanted to make sure I was, like, you know, lined up with the platform, but as I got more attempts here, I got a bit more confident with the landing. Then, yeah, the other one is just like, yeah, just wall kick up. And this is gonna be the final reclimb. And once we get past these 3 wall kicks, you're gonna see another red coin that's a kind of bit out of... It seems a kind of bit out of reach, but it's actually more reasonable than you think, because it is very easily tryable because of how much that slope there extends. So really all you have to worry about is just like, you know, it's just focus on making sure you stay alive, make sure you kick back within a reasonable, you know, a reasonable frame. If you just strain back enough, like, and keep trying it, like, the red coin should eventually just be easy to collect. Or it should just be, you know, you should eventually collect it with enough tries at it. Now we're going back up, and we're actually gonna be dropping down to where Star 1 originally spawned in 74EEE, because that's where our next red coin is going to be. That one's pretty easy as well. All you really need to do is just wall kick back and forth. It's a little small of a space, but the camera really doesn't do anything to mess with you on it. You just see here, I like see up and see down, give myself the angle, and then yeah. To do that with just one wall kick, it could be a bit not as risky, but like it could be a bit greedy. Rather. And so now we are going to make our way to the Morbid Deadly puzzle area. Well, we will be slowly approaching that triple jump wall kick red I was mentioning, but not before struggling a bit getting up to it due to nerves. This is where my nerves usually kind of spiked up throughout this grind. There have been times like that platform that I just ledge grabbed, I have like undershot and overshot that jump to that platform on attempts. It was really annoying. It's like, with how much experience I have with this, especially with all the times I did MDP in the co-op that you've seen me do for EE, it's definitely something. Now here, that red, given the strat I normally do for that French fry jump, whatever you want to call it, stick jump, it really did not change much for me. Normally it was on that tiny slope, and like I would just do the same thing anyway, just, you know, jump back down to reach the coin and then just do the same strat again. Oh, okay, and then the spiny. Okay, so the reason I punched the spiny here is because after jumping down to collect this coin, which is like pretty tight, but like as long as you remain at a somewhat reasonable distance between, you know, your shadow and the red coin, you could still nab it. It's just pretty tight. Normally, I mean, you can also fall, but if you fall from the right side, you don't have much of a chance to like really get back up. You can go the other way, but it kind of force a recline. But yeah, the reason I punched that spiny there is because there have been attempts where it can kind of get in the way after climbing back up the way I just did from that 13th red. And yeah, it can knock you all the way down. Anyway, now this one. This is the triple jump red coin. The triple jump wall kick red coin I was telling you about. This is the big one. So you want to let the amp bait you, but I kind of like set myself up. You see those little like things in the quicksand there? I try to set myself up to where Mario's kind of facing between the 4th and the 5th one, closer to the 5th one on the left from where that golden square where the secret originally was. There, and then I triple jump and then strain up quite a bit, and then yeah, pause buffer it to just really nab it. And then the rest of it here is actually pretty standard in terms of Crudelo. I did choke these wall kicks that you're about to see coming up here. I choked them once in an attempt. It was frustrating. And this is why here I'm kind of just like paused in between, just kind of like, you know, trying to be like, it's alright, whatever happens. Which is definitely something I'm really proud of, like the Zen Flow mind state I managed to maintain throughout this, even though it was only 5 days, which is, again, why I say anticlimactic for this being my hardest star, the fact that it only took 5 days. It definitely struck a lot of nerves regardless. But I definitely maintained myself pretty well with the chokes I had, the deaths I had, rather. But yeah, this is essentially, the rest of this is like the normal MVP climb. Or the normal climb to the top of the MVP area. And then, yep, firsty. If you get that firsty, you can just reach that ledge in 4 wall kicks. And then here I try to switch to the fixed cam because it helps. Just here, you usually get up here in like 7 wall kicks. Or you could do 8, you could do less. Like I did 9 here just to strain a bit because I try my best to just avoid ledge grabbing that left side where that other secret was. That has happened once, twice, and it's kind of annoying. And now the rest of this, you jump back down to that ground, and then you have that red, and then the other 3 reds that aren't piss easy afterwards. Just jump down. And now this red coin here, I thought you originally needed to wall kick, but I think I saw it in Pluto's video that yeah, you can just do that. You can just ledge grab it. And then getting back up, that is the I didn't have to pause buffer these wall kicks coming up here, but I wanted to because I was nervous. I wanted to make sure I fucking survived. And the camera can sometimes rotate, like, the other way. And you just want to make sure you know what you're doing. You want to make sure what angle, you know what angle you have, or what angle you're working with. Then after that, the last two reds are pretty easy. It's just, you know, doing the same kind of, like, climb up to here. You technically can, what I learned in practice, you technically can jump alongside. You could jump back down to that, like, black slope of the cube, and you can actually make it back up. So you don't actually have to do this reclimb that you see me doing, but, you know, I figured I'd rather not risk it in case bad collision. But that's really about it. This was really surreal. Anticlimactic yet symbolic, like I said earlier. Like, and I really hope to continue to pop off, not just in this hack, but like in other future stars, because I know it's been a bit of a gap between this and the last hardest star, and I hope to continue to make you guys proud. In the meantime, thank you all for watching, and yeah, take care. Alright. It's alright. Oh my god. Alright.